Coming up on Faith and Frames.
I saw 19 as the prefix.
Born in the 1900s.
Like, okay, yeah.
You old bag of dirt.
Joel Damon's the man. His motto is, somebody has to be the 40th best golfer in the world.
97.5% of you guys.
I'll wait till the bubble bursts. This is not a bubble. This is life.
Yeah.
But for all buyers out there, if you are wanting to do that, do not put it in the offer.
I get like smacked in the face with reality every time I see these memes on Facebook where it's like what I think is a 20-year-old truck.
Yeah.
Like I still think of the 80s or the 90s trucks. No.
Yeah,
Jared.
RJ51 Photos. That's his handle.
No, Jared. The 20-year-old truck is
Now 40.
Is a 2004.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's crazy is like, well, I know both of y'all remember my Infinity.
Yes.
Yeah.
The G.
Bruh. 21 years old.
Yeah.
That car's 21 years old now?
It was a 2003.
Yeah. My Subaru downstairs is an 03.
That's wild.
Yeah, that is it blows my mind. I keep thinking 20 years ago, it's 80s. It's 80s.
I'm a dad burned 92, so.
Nope, that's 40 years ago now. Dummy.
That's wild.
Pretty insane. And it does old car things. I had to jump it off this morning because it wanted to explode the batteries.
Hey, that happens, dude. Batteries.
Yeah, that's a battery issue. That's not a car issue.
You know, they're not. They're not
thing.
certainly not eternal.
No.
Like your soul. But yeah, cars have come a long way. I also get smacked in the face with the meme where, like, if you have to get if there's an age requirement to buy anything.
Oh yeah.
If you just like flash your card up there and it's like, oh, you're good. It's like, you didn't even look at it. I saw the 19.
Yeah.
Like, I know.
You were born in the 1900s.
I saw 19 as the
Yeah,
prefix.
you're born in the
like,
1900s.
okay, yeah, you're old enough to buy this.
You old bag of dirt.
That's
you bag of dust.
Hey, it's not wrong though. Like,
I was gonna say, eventually we'll be a bag of dust.
We're gonna return to dust. That's a fact.
Some quicker than others, especially if you're a cremation fan.
Oof. Yeah. There you go. Listen. What's an astronaut's favorite part of the computer?
Well, I would say the space dust in between each key, but I know that's not correct.
The space bar.
Oh man,
that's pretty good. The space bar.
I don't know about that one.
You were close. Like you had half of it.
Well, I was just going on with the dust theme.
Well, but the space theme was correct.
Well, yeah.
It's just not a computer part, but space bar, pretty integral.
Oh, no, the dust in your keyboard is certainly a part of that keyboard.
It's not integral to its operation.
It's actually detrimental to its operation.
Yeah, at some point, if you keep just letting that dust, manifest into bigger dusts.
Yeah, it's going to fester into a dead key.
Not going to work.
Or 5.
Not going to work.
Folks, dust your keyboards off.
Dust your keyboards off.
This
you should also dust your camera lenses off. I don't. I'm pretty bad about that. It's character.
Again, you actively do not like ProMist filters, but you also actively run a natural ProMist filter on your lenses, and that is
listen. Most people aren't going to understand that, but people pay pretty good money to put these like filters on there that soften and static and kind of muddy the scene up a bit. I'm just like, look, if you just take it out and use the sucker, it's naturally going to get
just don't blow it
dirt
off
on
ever.
it, and it's going to have the same effect. Like you're going to get bloom just naturally for free.
Well,
all it's going to cost you is a little bit of time and experience.
I mean, yeah, it takes time. My other habit for getting, a nice bloomy look is I just buy lenses that are 4,000 years old. They've typically got some character.
Nice.
Yeah. Actually, your angle right now is on a lens that was made in the 60s, 70s maybe. I don't know.
Is this the 1960s?
Certainly the 1900s.
You got to specify. I don't know when the first lens was made.
Welcome to Faith and Frames.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Welcome back.
And welcome back
to Faith and Frames.
If you're a repeat offender, if you're new, welcome.
I haven't looked at statistics in a while to see what are returning.
97.5% of you guys are unsubscribed.
Is that really the?
I don't know.
Oh, dang! I thought you were dropping
that's the
some
hook
knowledge.
All the YouTubers use. That's the ones all the YouTubers use.
Listen, what we would like to do though is get some feedback.
Yeah, we enjoy feedback.
Also, here's the thing though: we may just need to like read between the lines, and the lack of feedback.
You guys suck.
Maybe. Silence, as they say, speaks volumes. So we may need to.
We may not be entertaining. Sorry.
If not, sorry. Sorry, as our Canadian brethren may say.
Shout out Mark Bone.
we got tons of Canadian folk.
Yeah.
My
Maddie.
wife hates it when I say it, though.
Yeah. Maddie, Teppo.
She will not let me say sorry.
Mine don't like it either because she watches some sort of Canadian cowboy show and they say sorry because they actually are.
Like Canadian.
Yeah, they're Canadian.
Yeah. Listen,
I can't say it though.
I can drop sorry in conversation, but what I can't drop is Zed.
Oh yeah, 0.
It's a Z.
Yeah, I can't do that.
It's a Z, not Zed.
Can't do that.
And I'm not a huge proponent of what is it that they say?
Route.
I'm interchangeable with my route, like
Okay.
Route 66, Route 66. I'm cool with that.
Okay.
Because like I say en route,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
not en route, which
Yeah.
I don't know that either one of them is right or wrong.
I think they're both right. It's the same word.
But they say, gosh, is it process?
Yeah. Process. Yeah.
I can't get on board with like process. Part of the process, they'll say, I can't
I
get
can't
on
do
board with
process.
that. Yeah.
I still love them though.
It's
I do love
process.
them. I love my
Absolutely.
Canadian brethren.
I also like syrup. So, and the Lord.
Hey, speaking of syrup in Canada, whenever we were in Canada a few years back, they make popsicles by digging a little finger-sized ridge in the snow, and they pour the syrup down in there. You lay a popsicle,
It's a
popsicle
syrup
stick down in there.
it's a syrup sickle?
A syrup sickle.
Nice.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah, I'd be on board with that.
Thank you, Canada. Well, they
Yeah.
get enough snow to do that. We don't.
Also true.
So.
You ready to thank our sponsor?
Yeah, and then we have a guest today, don't we?
We do have a guest today.
He's sitting here listening to us ramble about Canadians.
He may not be as versed in the Canadian YouTube space.
He may not like Canada, and we're sitting here putting it up in his face.
Listen,
don't
I
know.
love flapjacks. I love maple syrup. I'm on board with that. I do think our bacon's superior though.
I can agree with that.
All right, we'll bring our guest on here in a minute, but go ahead and let's thank our sponsor this week.
Sponsor for today's episode is none other than Animals West of Greeneville, Tennessee. At Animals West, your pets are our passion. Our dedicated team offers personalized care, advanced treatments, and a warm, loving environment. Because at Animals West, every tale tells a story. Tony, Amanda, and the crew down on the Newport Highway.
Yeah.
Thank you for sponsoring this episode of Faith and Frames. Thank you for sponsoring these animals here in Motion Creative Media.
Yeah, taking care of us.
Taking care of us.
Yeah.
Meat and taters, Jared. Get us the meat and taters. We have a guest this morning. I'll let you handle the introduction.
It ain't got a thing to do with a frame because he does real estate. But we're gonna get a pulse check on the market
The
and
hot
all
market.
things real estate, rates, inventory issues, what things are looking like. I know traffic's increasing, so clearly people are moving in.
And I'm gonna back you up for a second because you just downed the fact that there's no frame to do with this. A house cannot be built without a frame.
Okay, that's fair.
So, anyways, slight correction there. We can now proceed with the program.
Yeah, so Dylan Bailey,
Good morning, sir.
Good to be here.
real estate agent,
Aficionado.
let's see. So I know Dylan. I'm trying to think of the actual first time I met Dylan. It was probably at Twin Creeks Golf Course in passing, and then somewhere along the way after college, our paths crossed yet again. And so, yeah, that's kind of how I know Dylan.
Yeah, most people know me from Twin Creeks.
Yeah. You have been known to be the residential golf pro there. Watching idiots like us not be golf pros there.
Listen, the worst thing about Twin Creeks Golf Course, and I've never even been an employee there, but I can imagine the worst thing at Twin Creeks Golf Course has to be the way that they've laid out 17, because that hole's freaking hard.
Yeah.
And you're going to watch like 10% of the people hit the green.
Yep.
The only thing that would make it even worse if where number 17 is where number 9 was.
I'm sorry, yeah, 17. 17's not, it's not an easy. Oh, well,
Imagine
nine's
number
tough too.
imagine
nine's tough.
number 9 being where 17 was, and you had to watch that all day.
I think 9 is the handicap one, isn't it?
If it's not, it should be.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That is a toughie.
I mean,
I
I bet
can almost-
you less than 15% of the people hit the green.
I absolutely hate 9.
Okay, here's the thing. Even if you hit the green,
You ain't making the putt.
No.
well, you're going to get it to stay.
Exactly.
It's going to go blue
That's what
down
I'm
the hill.
saying. If you're above the pin, it's not stopping.
Although
No.
people like you being left-handed, you can hit a draw
I
in
can hit a
there.
draw in.
That's true.
And so, like,
You can still be on the low side of the
geometrically,
pin.
you're
But the problem is, if you draw it too much, then you're chipping from above the green, and you ain't stopping it.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
No, it ain't happening.
That ain't stopping.
Well, luckily for me, I slice everything, so mine
yours is like a left-handed
it's
draw.
like a draw. It's a draw.
You just
There
hit,
you go.
let's just call it a very large cut.
It is a
you
very
go.
large cut.
There you go.
It is a very
Absolutely.
large cut.
Man, I need to go.
And I play to that cut. I know my strength with that cut. We'll call it.
Yeah.
Hey.
So you're not the person who like sets up for a slice and then hits one straight.
That happens to me about 20% of the time.
Ah,
I mean,
okay.
you've witnessed. I'll have
Yeah.
one really just solid smack of the driver, and it's just an arrow.
Yeah, in the way that you were set up to play your slice.
Yeah, in the way that I was set up to play the cut. We're
But
calling it
let's
the
be
cut.
honest. I mean, even the pros don't hit it perfect every time.
They don't.
So
They don't.
No, that's true.
Speaking of pros, started season 2 of Full Swing last night.
It's sweet.
Love that show.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, dude, Full Swing on Netflix. Go watch it.
you've never watched
documentary, right?
you never watched either like season 1. Oh, go
Oh,
watch
dude,
it.
Full
Go
Swing is
watch it.
great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Does it follow pros?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
They follow Brooks. They follow DJ. They follow JT. They follow Jordan a little bit.
Ricky.
So there's no boundaries in regards to what tour you're on then.
Well, no.
Well, so season 1 is when Liv first gets
when they
introduced,
split.
and then you start seeing the controversy.
Yeah. And in season 2, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but
You enter into the controversy.
you enter into the controversy. And then you're introduced to a man that you've probably never heard of, Mr. Joel Damon, I believe
Yes.
it is.
Go look up Joel Damon, and I will about guarantee you the first video that you will find is Joel Damon taking his shirt off at the Waste Management on number
Management.
16.
Joel Damon gives hope to guys like you and me.
Is he playing the Live Tour, I guess? 'Cause
No.
that wasn't
No,
flat to PGA.
no, he's on the tour.
I'm sure he
he's
got
on the
fined
PGA.
for that.
He's number 90 in the world right now.
His motto is somebody has to be the 40th best golfer in the world. Might as well be me.
Yeah. Joel gives us guys hope. Me and you. He's a pro. Dylan's
Listen,
pro.
I don't have.
But guys
hopes.
like me and you, no, Joel will give you hope.
Joel Damon's the man.
Okay.
He's still, obviously, he's a pro golfer, so
Right.
we'll never be as good as him. But
Yeah.
he makes me think sometimes, like, I think I can do that. I'm
Listen.
going to go qualify for the next Open.
That sounds like my every round of golf ever.
Yeah,
like
yeah, pretty much.
Most of my rounds of golf encompass 3 moods. Initial stoke.
Yeah.
Like I'm pumped to be out here.
I can't wait to
Let's
hit
go
this
shoot our
ball.
best. Let's go shoot our best today, guys.
Yes.
I'm quitting. I'm sick of this sport.
Yeah.
I'm selling my
Yeah.
clubs tomorrow. Actually, they may get listed on Marketplace before I finish this round.
They may not make it off the golf course because I'm going to sling them somewhere.
Then comes that random birdie. Like
Oh, yeah.
on the back 9, the last 3 or 4 holes where
That
it's like
keeps you coming back.
it's like, oh my gosh, you know what? I've done it, boys. I've figured it out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come back.
And then I might get like
I'm
one
a
or
glutton
two
for
good
punishment
pars,
here.
and I'm like, dang, I'm sick now.
Yeah, you string together a couple pars even. It's just like
I'm a sick
I got
golfer.
it, I've got it figured out.
Yeah,
it's
I
all
have-
figured out.
This game is
I'm ready
finally
to play
come to me.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm ready to play tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
But
Never
in all
mind the fact
seriousness,
that I just quit.
we can technically go try to qualify for the Open
Yes.
if we have a couple
You
good
can.
rounds.
I don't know that I have the.
You got to make it through all the regionals and all that, but you can qualify.
Well, let's
Ish.
let's get into the detail. of
okay,
that.
correct me.
So, if I'm not mistaken,
Mm-hmm.
to qualify for a USGA sanctioned event such as the US Open,
Mm-hmm.
to even enter into qualifying, you have to have a handicap that's like below 4.
See, here's the thing.
There,
though.
there is
How
like
do
a
they-
stipulation.
How do they?
Yeah, how they gonna know that
How
if
they
I just
prove that?
randomly show up?
You have to have a GN handicap. Like I have a GN handicap on my phone. Like so, like you pay a monthly. Sorry, you pay a yearly subscription, so to speak. And then when you get done playing every round, you put your score in, and then it generates your GN.
Okay, gotcha.
And now I may be incorrect on that,
That's
but
a
I don't
bummer.
believe that I am.
I thought it was literally open to anyone who wanted to qualify, as long as
Listen,
you made
if
it
it
through
was-
all your sectionals.
it was open to any idiot, I mean-
that
I mean, I'm sure there's been
senior
some-
is. I know
Okay.
that there is for the senior because like when Dad has tried to qualify,
Okay.
Dad had to keep his handicap below a certain degree, or you're not even allowed to qualify.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean, I understand that. Yeah, they don't want me out there, I guess.
Speaking of handicaps, what's your handicap?
It's about like I think like a 3.2, something like
Dang.
that. somewhere in that neck of the woods.
Sorry,
So,
Yeah. Well, I said Dylan's bro. You ain't
I'm
gonna
not
lie.
going that far.
that's not even fun to play with people. That's good.
No.
I don't like playing with people that are good.
No, he can't colloquialize.
The only time I
with
like to
my
play with
golf
people
game.
that are good is if we're in like a
Scramble?
a team situation, and
Yeah.
I
think
mean,
I've played one round with you. I think we've played a round of 9 before at Twin Creeks.
listen. I'll go
I
play
don't think
with you.
I don't even think it was a full round. I think that I was working.
You were working. You played about 3 holes with us.
I can say this now because I don't work there.
Yes.
So I believe you and Corey were playing together,
Yep.
and because Corey's left-handed, ain't he?
Yep.
And so
Yeah, he's using your clubs.
Yeah, and I locked up the clubhouse and came out there and played a few holes with you.
Twin Creeks, if you're listening,
I don't work there anymore.
he don't work there anymore.
Listen, my favorite thing about Twin Creeks was the close proximity to Chucky Doak, which is my stomping grounds. Inevitably meant that some of my peers were on staff there.
Oh yeah.
That always helps.
I've never illegally played rounds at Twin Creeks. Never ever. I've never done that in my life.
Listen,
before.
Here's the thing. I'm not going to even name names, but I can
I'm
count on one hand how many times I've paid full price to play around there.
I am an outstanding.
Preach.
I am an outstanding citizen of society who has never done it.
Yeah. Listen, Twin Creeks gets a bad rap though. Like the front 9 is pretty tough, I think.
It is.
See,
At least for me.
I'm
I
the
mean,
opposite. I play better on the front nine than I do the back.
Well, you're also a 3 handicap. I'm
You're
like
a
a third.
3.2
Yeah, but
handicap.
still- but
You play good
still-
I'm like
everywhere.
a 370
That's not a true
handicap.
statement. That's not a true statement. But I play better on the front 9 normally than I do the back.
See, listen,
I like the
everybody-
back because it's so open.
Yeah, but see, I was fixing to comment on that. Those oaks are slow growing right now, but I'm telling you, once those things get to maturity, it's going to be tight.
It will be.
But what you're going to see within the next 5 years, let's say, the roles are going to be reversed. Because the trees on the front have about outlived their life.
Okay,
Yeah,
so they're going to
true.
get chopped down.
And so
it's
they're
gonna
going to
start to get
get
open.
chopped down. They're going to fall down, whatever.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's going to become open, and they're going to grow because you got to
Okay,
remember
cut.
they wasn't the back 9 hasn't always been there.
Well, they just
True.
recently lost the one that made 5 a challenge.
Yeah, the big
oh
tree.
son,
I go straight
if
at the green
If
now.
I play from the white tees, I'm knocking it on the
Yeah.
green.
I go straight for the green now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to hit it over that monster anymore.
Or play the dog leg
Yeah, or
that's
play the dog
played
leg.
out, or laid out in front of you.
Yeah.
Now you play from the tips back there. That's your only angle. You're playing the dog leg unless
So
you could do a cut.
when I play the tips, I'll tee the ball up a little higher, put a little more up in my stance, and I'll hit a big nanner slice high and over them trees.
Yeah.
And
So nanner slice.
You'll be between
Might
it
throw
and the
that one in
house.
the back
Then the
pocket.
house will be in the
yeah, I
got
mean,
you.
normally I've got about 60 yards in on that one.
Nice.
From the tips.
That must be cool.
But that makes sense, though. I mean, truly, that's already happened on hole 5.
Yeah.
They had one in one of the windstorms a few years ago.
It took a tumble. It took a tumble.
Now it's wide open.
Oh yeah.
From the whites.
Yep. And that's the thing. I mean, but I think I play better on the front than I do the back because while it is more open on the back, the back's longer.
Yeah.
It is a lot
And
longer.
so on the front, 1, I've got a wedge in. 2, I've got a wedge in. 3, the par 5, I've got a mid iron, low iron in.
Yeah.
And then wedge, then par 5, knock it on in 2, and then mid iron into 9.
Listen, I like Twin Creeks, but my biggest gripe is that there isn't a driver's range or driving range because
Yeah.
here's the thing: if you play the normal order, all right, unless you just want to try something, you're taking driver off tee on 1, probably driver off tee on 2, driver off tee on 3, and then the driver don't come out of the bag until like 7.
Yeah.
So that's difficult because you've not had the driving range to, work out the kinks or anything. So you got 3 swings, and you put the sucker in the bag for a bit. You don't get it back out until you really need it
Yeah,
on
on
7.
Yeah.
And then you really need it to be good on 8.
Yeah. For dudes like me, that's detrimental.
Well, see,
It's difficult.
Detrimental to the
so
game.
the driving range used to be where 17's at.
Okay.
That makes sense. It's
There
kind of
you-
laid
that
out
does
that way.
make
There
sense.
used to be a
Although
driver.
the train tracks, what'd they do? Peg the trains? The train's not too far back behind that. I
You
don't
can't
feel like.
hit driver, and I mean some
Listen,
people
don't tell me
can.
what I can't do.
But I mean, I'll stand there where the blue tees is because if there's nobody coming up 16 or 18, and we're going to play, 17's the driving range.
you
I
go.
still
Work
take.
a
I'll
few things
take.
out.
I'll take a.
Honestly, I've knocked
dozen balls.
a few off the top deck there just to get a couple warm up
Yeah,
shots.
I
in.
mean, I use either that or I'll go to 1 and I hit it towards 4.
Yeah.
And hit it in the pond. I just take some old balls and
Yeah.
hit them
I've
away.
done that before. Yeah,
Yeah. That's
And
true.
but
just make your own driving range.
yeah, and so 17 used to be where the driving range was, and
okay.
I can pound a driver down there, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now I'm not the longest hitter, but there's probably some that probably could hit it in the driving range, but it's
Unlikely.
it's a good poke.
Unlikely.
Man, I did not anticipate this golf tangent, but I'm enjoying it.
I was gonna
I
say.
love golf. We can talk about
Listen,
golf all
I
day. bro.
saw on TV the other day the Masters are coming up, son.
I'm going. I'll be there for the practice round on Monday.
Attaboy.
Pumped.
Attaboy.
Wow.
Most beautiful place on earth. I was there in 2018. It is the most, I say this thankfully, been blessed. I've had the opportunity to go to Hawaii. I've had the opportunity to go to the Bahamas. Augusta National is the most beautiful place I've ever been in my entire life.
Preachers go to the Bahamas.
Preachers go to the Bahamas.
dang,
No
okay.
matter what anybody says, preachers go to the Bahamas.
Does it look as good as it does on TV?
Better.
Oh man,
So can I tell you some stories about the Masters?
have at it.
Yeah.
So here's some knowledge you may not know. If you go to the Masters or if you look at the Masters, you will never find a weed
Well, I mean,
anywhere on the entire golf course.
I can tell you it don't make it on the camera.
True.
You will never, if you go there, you can look, you will never find a weed.
Depends on who you're rooming with, but okay.
And,
See what you did there.
yeah, okay.
At least not on the fairway.
Not
Though.
on the fairway.
Gotcha.
But so in the woods,
Yeah.
there are people that stay in the woods and they wear like ghillie suits.
What?
Real talk.
What?
And so, especially during the tournament, maybe not as much during the practice round, but during the tournament when the cameras are on.
Yeah.
And so, when somebody hits a shot and they take a big pallet out of the fairway, got a big divot, as soon as it goes off, the people in the ghillie suits and everything will run onto the fairway. They'll
It's like
fill
a
it in with
full
green.
recon mission.
Dang.
And everything that you buy at the Masters is in green wrapping, the same color as the grass. That way, if any trash falls on the ground, it blends in.
Now they've got the cheapest hot dog or something there.
They got the cheapest everything. Hold on.
We got Dad Burn.
Their concessions are cheap.
We got
like,
Dad
truly.
Burn Augusta Team 6 out here.
So
I've not been there in person, but I've seen
inflation doesn't exist
at Augusta.
at
National.
Augusta. Nice. Let me give you
That's
this.
beautiful.
Let's not let some people know that because it may try to enter in. But
Yeah.
egg salad, $1.50.
Wow.
Nice.
Pimento cheese, $1.50. Wow. Pork barbecue, $3.
Bless the Lord.
Masters Club, $3. Chicken
Nice.
salad,
Wow.
You had me at
$3.
Masters Club.
Ham and cheese on rye, $3.
That's cheaper than a number one at Chick-fil-A.
That's exactly
that's,
right.
That's about cheaper than $1 menu at
Wow.
the Mickey D's.
Soft
Well,
drink,
that's
$2.
not a menu anymore.
Huh?
It starts at 2 now.
It's the $2 menu at
It's
Mickey
the 2,
D's
3,
now?
4.
Really?
Yeah, that's the 2.
Tells you how long it's been since.
Yeah,
I mean,
don't
A small fry now is $1.19, I believe.
What?
Or $1.67.
the most expensive thing at the Masters, other than merchandise, obviously.
Right.
Now, merchandise is expensive.
The round of golf probably not cheap either.
And I'd say
If you can get on,
yeah,
I'd say the ticket
So-
to get to view the Masters
You
not
can't
cheap
even
either.
you can't-
$100.
For a ticket?
If you get drawn, it's $100.
Yeah,
Wow.
but that's a pretty
Well,
exclusive.
that's like a
list
20-year
that's-
waiting list.
Yeah.
It's not a waiting list.
What?
Oh.
So every year you go to masters.com.
Oh, so it's like the Hot Wheels Red Line Club. You got to be
There's a lottery.
okay.
And so every year you have to enter into the lottery. Practice round tickets, you can select up to 4.
Wow.
Tournament tickets are 2. And then they just draw. That's how we got tickets. Dad got drawn.
See, I've heard of people going to the practice rounds because I thought they were a little more lax on that.
Yeah.
But I had always thought in my mind
I
that
thought they had a waiting list.
it was a big waiting list to actually be there, like on a Sunday or something.
No,
You
Yeah,
have
the-
enlightened us on the game of golf today.
They're pretty strict because if they technically, I've never heard of this actually happening, but technically, if you get drawn for a ticket and you sell it and they find out you sold it, you are exiled.
Are you
can't,
banned?
you can't go.
Lifetime banned.
I think
But-
they will
Like
send
the
you right
Greeneville
on to prison.
YMCA.
Like on StubHub though, go look at see how much tickets are on StubHub. You're talking like $1,000 a ticket.
Jeez. But if those people get caught, they're banned.
That's what it says on
Dang.
the website. Like I said, never heard of that happening, but
Yeah, but here's the thing. Okay, if you're really like trying to make a buck as opposed to actually seeing the Masters, you probably don't give two rips
Yeah, you
about
probably
being
don't
at
wanna
the
go
Masters. So
anyways.
it's like,
That's
okay,
true.
the profit's probably worth the band at
Oh,
that
yeah.
point if that's what you're really into.
Yeah, I
I'm pretty
guess.
sure that if you looked on StubHub right now, if you was to get drawn for a Saturday or Sunday round, I guarantee you the ticket prices are anywhere from $35 to probably $10,000.
No, thank you.
That's a good business model.
I'll watch it on TV. Yeah, that'll be. I'll be tickled. till
I'll
I'm
pay
to
my
death.
$7.99
Tiger
Tiger
playing?
subscription.
Yeah.
Is he
Well,
in it?
I assume that he is. He was. There was a thing that showed that his jet left Miami, him and JT, and they played a practice round earlier this week.
Oh, is it that celebrity jet tracker app or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would like to see. I'd like to see. Listen. Pipe dream. I'd like to see him like really be making a push there on Sunday.
Absolutely.
I just like him to be relevant on Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, people can say what they want. Tiger's the GOAT.
Yeah.
Hands down, he is good for the game of golf.
Yeah.
Listen, he.
I want to see Ricky Fowler playing good
Me
again.
too.
I do too. I do like
Ricky's
Ricky.
had like
Ricky's my
a lot of down
Ricky's
years.
my number 2.
Ricky's had a lot of down years. He
has.
needs it.
He's
mentally.
got that. He's got that. Did he finally get a major? But he's got that major
No, he
chip.
don't have a major.
He'll be leading
Yeah.
3 of the 4 days.
Let's see, 2000 and I believe it was 15. Mm-hmm. He is the only person to play in all 4 majors and come in the top 3 in all 4.
Yeah. And not win.
And not
I
win.
was gonna say not walking
And
up
not
that.
win.
that
Yeah.
big-
Ricky
big
needs
check.
it mentally.
Yeah.
if you've watched season 2 of Full Swing,
You'll see it.
You'll see that Ricky needs one.
Oh well. Yeah, that's.
And he's just a fun dude to watch too.
Yeah.
Like, he's fun to watch.
He is the modern day Arnold Palmer.
I can see that.
Minus the wins.
I could see that.
Listen, this is just this is purely just like an entertainment thing, and as a armchair quarterback of the golf watching that takes place via TV.
Yeah.
I think some sort of hybrid needs to take place between PGA and Live.
Well,
PGA needs to slack off a bit, and I think Liv's a little too. I think Liv's a little too lax.
Again, where season 2 comes in, they have entertained a merger.
Yeah, they are in the process of trying to figure out what a merger would look
They're
like.
trying to merge.
Well, because here's the thing: there's a reason why those pay-per-view events, where like Tiger and Phil, where
Yeah.
you get to hear
Yeah.
some of the banter and
Yeah.
stuff. Like, there's a reason why those are
Still going on.
as successful.
Yeah, they make dollars.
But PGA, I mean, it's just that gentleman's thing, and I think they need to. I think
Well,
they,
it's
I
not no
think they
more
need
because
to-
again, they're trying to figure out a merger.
Well, like I said, I don't. I think a hybrid it would be
So
a good middle ground there, from
I
a viewer
like
standpoint.
I like the live portion of that
kinda like
pros.
the team
that
thing.
that
That's a cool-
pros. I
yes.
don't mind the team thing. I like that the pros can wear shorts.
Yeah.
I have no problem with professionals wearing shorts.
No.
You go to state events now, pros are allowed to wear shorts.
Yeah.
So I don't mind that. I don't like the blaring music.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They went a little too
hype
far
music
with
the whole
some of
time.
it.
I don't like that. Yeah, I don't
Honestly,
like that stuff.
I couldn't play like that.
No.
No.
Which again, different calibers. It's
distracting.
Obviously,
I don't like the 54 hole tournaments.
Right.
I like 72. I don't like that there's not a cut.
That's true.
Because, okay, I'm going to show up. Who cares if I win? I'm drawing a paycheck either way. I don't like that.
Yeah.
But I still believe that even if you don't make the cut, there should still be some compensation for the people that at least make the tournament.
Well,
I
golly,
know-
there is in sponsorship deals.
Well, that's
if you're good.
Yeah, true.
I mean, you got to think about, imagine, if you're
An
100,
amateur?
Yeah, we're not, well, amateurs can't accept money anyways.
Oh, really?
No.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. He is just a wealth of knowledge on the
Yeah,
game of golf.
amateur-
Listen, it's because he's entertained the thought of being there one day.
That's a
I
true
can't
statement.
seriously entertain the thought of
I
this.
can't either.
Look, there's dreams, and then there's dreams.
So Nick Dunlap, he won Pebble Beach this year. He was an amateur. He was playing college golf at Alabama.
Yes.
And he won. The purse was like $3 million. He couldn't accept it.
Even with NIL and stuff like that, they can. Wow.
Couldn't accept it.
What a bummer.
And so
What happened to that funding?
it goes to whoever's in second place.
Okay.
They heck far.
Wowzers.
Yeah, so amateurs, like if I go out and I win a tournament, I can receive I can receive merchandise. I can receive like a gift card, or so to speak. Like when we play in the pro-ams.
Or what about like a car? I mean, I know sometimes the cars you really can't.
Technically, no. I mean, you can, but you could. So I'll give you an example. There was a guy on the PGA Tour. He went to, I believe, the University of Georgia. His name was Jason Bone. He played at Cartersville Country Club.
Okay.
Dad knows him. I've met him. He was playing in a golf tournament in college. He made a hole-in-one like we was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Where there was a prize.
Where there was a prize.
Yeah.
And it was $1 million. So he turned pro and accepted the money. He left college and he turned pro and he accepted the money. Now it took him
don't know why
like
you
6 or
wouldn't.
7 years to
Right.
get to where, he actually got his tour card.
Yeah.
But he couldn't go back to college. He couldn't do any of that. Dang. So I mean, he had to turn pro to accept the money.
What's stopping somebody from I don't know, dropping a hoodie in the parking lot that has a $3.5 million check in it that I just won?
That's a bummer, though. I mean,
That is a bummer.
That really, I get the rules and everything, but daggone, man,
I won this
I
thing.
just out competed
Everybody.
everybody else. Like I won.
It used to be even worse than it is now.
Well, yeah, I'm sure.
That's
So-
such a bummer.
I did not know that.
Last year during the Masters, you had Sam Bennett, I believe Sam Bennett was his name. He was an amateur. He was leading going into maybe the Saturday round. Maybe
remember that,
Maybe
actually.
even the Sunday round.
Yeah,
He was
I remember
leading.
that.
And of course, he fell off. So
Yeah.
one of the things in the Masters, I may not have this right, but it's either the top 10 or the top 15. You get an automatic exemption to next year's Masters.
So you,
Yeah, you get to come back.
Yeah.
So used to the rule was that if you was an amateur and that took place, and then you turned pro, you no longer got that exemption.
that's bullcrap.
And so you either had to decide to turn pro or to stay an amateur to come back next year, or you had to
In which
qualify as
case,
a
you're
pro.
not going to win any purse if you
Correct.
make any purse.
And so, but that rule has changed now because Sam Bennett got to come back. And
Okay.
because top 15 also gets you in like to the PGA, I believe, the championship, the U.S. Open, the British Open, all those. But
Wow.
Wow, we've been
Skewed.
knowledged on today.
Been skewed.
Been knowledged.
Back to school. Back to school.
Been knowledged on with the game of golf.
Show my dad I'm not a fool.
I love me some golf.
Listen, that was a really loose parallel. Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison.
You inadvertently crushed my dream of qualifying for the
true.
U.S. Open, but it's okay. You have to have realistic expectations.
Speaking of Happy Gilmore, did you hear? I heard that they were coming out with the two.
They are. Yeah, they're.
Or is
yeah,
that
they've
for
started
real?
shooting? Yeah.
That's awesome.
Is Adam going to play the?
Yep.
No.
Adam's back in it. I think most of the original cast is back into it.
Except for Chubbs.
Yeah.
Yeah. R.I.P.
Rest in peace. They said that, and I don't know if this is true, but it'd be funny if it was, that Will Zalatoris was going to play Happy Gilmore's caddy, because if you put them up beside each other, they look like twins.
Pretty similar.
Ah, okay.
In other fun film news, Beetlejuice is also about to come back out. I think it comes out October 26th.
Tombstone too.
Dang.
Old Tombstone.
I probably could
I'm
tune
your
into both of
Huckleberry.
those, actually.
I love Tombstone.
Yeah, but like we're not going to have Val Kilmer.
They said Matthew McConaughey's going to be in it.
Really?
All right.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
That'd be pretty good.
Yeah, so
Listen, I can't ignore the elephant in the room in your shirt anymore. I'm gonna ask you about real estate.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've asked us to ask
Yeah,
you.
I ask you about real estate. So
what do you want to know?
I'm pretty far removed from the current haps of the real estate market. My wife and I bought our current house in like 16 or 17, so we're in at a pretty good rate.
I purchased in 19, so also in a good rate.
Obviously, the
It was-
stupidity
It wasn't
of
16 or 17, was it? No, it was after that.
no,
you
well,
had
maybe
your house-
18, maybe
Oh,
18
I was about to say, because I was at your house. We was watching the Georgia LSU game and the one in.
in town.
In
yeah,
town.
Yeah, you
but
were
even
remodeling
still,
whenever I bought my
yeah,
house.
I've bought and remodeled 2 homes all before the stupidity of
Yeah.
the prices
Oh,
occurred.
It's crazy.
So I'm curious, are prices still nuts, or have they slowly calmed a bit?
They haven't dropped, if that's what you're asking.
Really?
So here's the difference.
Yeah, what is the current trend?
So the trend is the prices of housing. Everybody keeps making the statement, well, I see that the housing market's dropping. No, it's not.
Right.
Don't listen to that nonsense.
Okay.
What is dropping is sellers are having a hard time coming to the realization that they missed the boat.
Right.
And
it's not as
so-
hot.
It's not as hot.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so 3 years ago, You could list your house whatever we want to, and it's
Right,
going to sell.
right.
Probably that day, that
Yeah.
week.
Well, you get people in bidding wars.
Yeah.
I remember people being in bidding wars.
I sold a house, I guess it was 2 years ago, just past Twin Creeks. Wasn't that updated. It was a nice, cute little home. It had 1,000 square foot garage in the back. It wasn't even on a full acre. We listed it at $275, and it sold for $355. Yes.
That much above asking.
Yes.
Dang.
So what you're seeing now is if you was to take a report from Zillow, Realtor, Trulia, any of them, you would see that, yes, it looks like the prices of housing is coming down. Not the case. What you're seeing is when people list homes, they're having to drop the price.
Okay, because they're listing it so high.
Because they're listing it at a price that it's not going to sell at
Right.
anymore. And so that's why I say that sellers are having a hard time realizing that they missed the boat.
Yeah.
So now, okay, your house is worth $150 a square foot, unless your house is just immaculate in immaculate place in a popular place.
Right.
It's going to sell for $150 a square foot. It's
Right.
not going to, or $165, whatever.
Let me ask you this, though. This is the stupid part because, like I said, I bought and remodeled 2 houses. And so, obviously, when we remodeled, we needed capital to do so. And so we did construction loans, which you've got to have, 80% LTV,
Right.
Yep.
all these things. So appraisal was massive.
Yep.
How did those homes appraise for those stupid rates?
So
How did an appraiser walk in and say, last week I would have said this was 275, but
But this
today
will-
I'm having to say it's 355 so that this person can go get them. Like how does
So-
that happen?
Okay, so when the market first did what it did, appraisers had a hard time doing that.
Yeah.
So,
They still are.
Last week this was 275, and now not.
so VA has a thing that Obama put into place that is called Tidewater, and that means that your house did not appraise. So what you have the opportunity of doing is, I believe it's 3 days, 4 days. I can't remember right off the top of my head because I've only ever had 2 Tidewater. But so what you would do is the realtors would come together. You had a spreadsheet, and you would look for houses that were similar to the one that is under contract to be comparable comps to the price that it's selling.
Okay.
99.9% of the time, the appraiser does not come back that they were wrong.
Okay.
Now, I did have an appraiser once that raised their appraisal by about $15,000, and that was the most that any mortgage company had ever seen an appraiser raise it. And actually, it was a house that me and Dad remodeled.
Right.
And so, at that time, there wasn't a lot of comps to compare.
Yeah.
So, to your point of, okay, yes, last week this house was 275, this week it's 300. So at one point, if I'm not mistaken, it was like an average of like 30 houses coming off the market a day. And so you're talking about there's an influx of comps. So 6 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever you want to say, most appraisers would go back as far as 6 months to a year to find comps.
Yeah.
Now they're not even going back 2 months.
No, but okay, so I can get on board with you there after 30, 40 of them have done this stupidity, but the first ones,
Yeah, the
you
first
don't have
one-
comps that justify
Yeah.
this.
So the first ones, you've seen a lot of unappraised houses that didn't appraise. So the way that works, let's say that you sell your home, we list your home for $300,000 just as a scenario, and let's say the appraiser comes in and said your house is only worth $275,000. So we've got 2 options here. Well, technically we have 3.
yeah, you got to make it up with cash.
So either make it up with cash,
Yeah.
buyer has every right to back out,
Yeah.
or you drop the price.
Yeah.
And so what you were seeing, because you had all these people that were coming in, people were just making it up with cash.
Yeah, that
Well,
was
because they
easy
knew
for
the
those
profit was
people.
going to outweigh
And
what
so
they had to pay out.
as soon as you make it up with cash,
That's a moot point. At that
yeah,
point. It
at
doesn't matter.
$275,000, now it's $300,000.
Yeah.
When the appraiser comes to do the next home, they see yours at $300,000, which makes the comp for the next house go up.
Okay. I mean, like I said, I can understand using comps that exist, but
Yeah.
at some point those comps didn't exist. So someone overpaid.
Yeah, for that
quite a
first
bit,
for that first house.
made it up with cash, which
Yeah.
was easy for out of town people. You know, their dollar was a little different than our dollar.
Well, and that was kind of my question. Are you seeing a trend where it is more like regionally dictated Like you take our region, for example, where we do have quite a few people moving in from out of state. Is that one of the reasons why we have gone like pretty nuts on the comps and on the appraisals?
Absolutely. Well, I mean,
It's a nationwide thing, though, isn't it?
Well, I don't know
depends
because
what
like,
part of the nation you're talking about.
Because, like, if I go out to California to buy a house, I don't see people moving in excess to California. So those would be about the same, wouldn't they?
But the prices of houses are still stupid in California.
Well, I know, but I'm saying like,
but yes.
the price specifically as far as what it's set at, it's probably not going to have the upbringing
it's
of
not going
price
to have
that
it. Depending upon what part of California you're going into.
Yeah.
Correct.
Because we're not going there in droves. Like we have people coming to us
here
in droves.
and that is a true statement.
Okay.
So to answer your question, what I would say is that yes, the ones that are coming here is causing prices to fluctuate.
Yeah.
But what has caused the prices to fluctuate so quickly at one time was interest rate was 2%.
Yeah.
3%.
That's true.
And
I'm on a 3%.
it's free money.
Yeah.
I mean,
They aren't anymore.
No, Lord, no. They're mid.
I think
What's a good rate
6 or
right
7
now?
right now.
I know they've gone down some.
So I'm okay. So first, disclaimer: I'm not an expertise in rates. I'm not a mortgage.
Do not sue him. This is not financial advice.
Yeah, this is not financial advice. This is not mortgage advice. But from what I have seen, depending upon what kind of loan that you're getting,
sure. Let's just take a conventional. I mean, because the other one's got PMI and all that.
Conventional, 20% down, you're probably looking at somewhere in the upper 6s.
Yeah. So
And that's a good rate right now?
Yeah. I mean, unless you're,
Holy crap.
The lowest rate that I have seen over the past month or so was a VA loan, and it was like 6.3.
Wow.
Good grief.
But here's the thing, and this is what blows my mind with people.
Mm-hmm.
People say that, good grief.
Yeah.
5 years ago, 6 years ago, it was 8-9%, and people were still buying.
Yeah, but the home prices weren't as high either.
Right.
Correct.
Like
Correct.
that's where the
Listen, 6.3% of 300 is different than 6.3 of 150.
I had a client at the beginning of this all started that their interest rate was 12.
Holy crap, dude.
12.
No, thank you. I believe I will. I don't know what I do, but that
well,
ain't
so that's
it.
where that's where it's so crazy right now in our area. Like I know when the boom first happened, like it's so tempting to want to. Like we had somebody come out and reappraise our house because we were like, "Golly, we can sell."
Look at our equity.
Look at the equity that we have right now.
Can I get financial? Not financial.
Do
advice.
not give me financial advice.
Can I give you real estate advice?
Yeah, have at it.
So when it comes for that, unless you are doing a HELOC or unless you are financing or anything like that, I wouldn't recommend getting an appraiser to come out and do that.
Well, so in hindsight, so we've already had it done. Like we had it done when that first boom happened. But yeah, now I look back at it, I'm like, I'm glad we didn't sell.
Yeah,
because where are you going to go?
Yeah, where are you going to go? Like you got a bag of
Yeah.
cash and nothing to do with it at that
It's
point
the
in
same
time.
thing that happened with vehicles, dude.
Yeah.
Same thing happened. Like, prices of used
Mm-hmm.
vehicles and stuff went through the roof. People are like, I can make money.
I did make money on vehicles.
Oh, I know.
Great. What are you going to drive after that?
Yeah.
Or where are you going to live after that? Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
And I think people were maybe too nearsighted.
Yeah.
And so, like,
They
you
went
had a lot of
crazy with
people
it.
literally in that camp.
Yeah.
And so now, if they didn't have an RV or something to go, like, temporarily reside in, like, they're literally, like,
Which
what do you do?
I'm not totally out on the idea of sailing and just traveling around in the camper just I can disappear. But that's for another reason. That's not for the profit.
So the thing is, when it comes to that, and the reason that I say that about an appraisal, so most of the time, a lot of people don't know this, depending upon what it is. When you have an appraiser comes out and it goes into the system, most time it stays in the system for 6 months. So let's say that there are certain loans. I'm not going to say which ones exactly because I'm not 100% sure.
Right.
But certain loans. So you could have it. Let's say you have an appraisal today and they say that it's worth X amount of dollars. Market goes crazy again. Your house goes up. So certain loans, when they would go to do everything, and those people would go to buy your house,
They won't have it reappraised, will they?
They'll have to
They
go off
on
of
that
that
previous
one. They go off the previous.
I can see that being bad.
And one,
So that's a time window, though. Like, if it's within that 6 months, then you would have hurt yourself in
but
that scenario.
one,
You could also benefit from that.
well, you could,
I mean, the inverse,
yeah,
well, it's probably not going to happen, but it could.
it could. But here's the other thing: you can have somebody like me come out there and do the exact same thing that they do, and I don't charge you nothing.
Right.
And it's the
But
exact
yours
same
isn't
thing.
official, though, right?
It's not official, but
It's
why
not
do you need?
accepted.
But why do you need it official?
Well, so that's what we did. We had an agent come out and appraise it.
Okay,
So we didn't pay didn't pay an appraiser. We
Okay,
paid
so
the
that's
agent
different.
come out, so she didn't charge us.
Okay, so that's
So it
that's,
didn't go. It didn't go in the system.
Okay, so that's different. That's what I was saying. I when people call and ask me that question, I'm like, I wouldn't. I said, I always tell them, let me or find somebody to come out and do it because it's in retrospect, it's going to end up being the same thing, except I don't charge people for
And it also doesn't
yeah.
become like quote unquote official.
Yeah, it's not official. And again, we were curious when that boom happened, which is why we called her and said, hey, can you come give us an idea?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's some scenarios like, well, so the only way I would say that could have worked is if you had. I wouldn't have recommended anybody do that for their primary residence, but that might have been not a terrible time to dump a rental that
a rental.
were like
And then reinvest.
maybe was a bit of a headache
Yeah.
or
that
whatever.
you're done with.
Like,
well, or if you
I've
just
seen
simply
a lot.
want
I've
to,
seen a lot do that.
or if you just simply want to reinvest,
well, that's true. Yeah.
like maybe sell this rental here that's not the best location,
Yeah.
maybe doesn't have the amenities, and put that on a down payment towards
Another one.
something in the middle of town.
There you go. Like that would make sense. I
just
would,
or a
reinvest.
cabin or something that you're going to Airbnb because
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
that's booming right now is
Yeah.
Airbnb.
B&B is huge.
well, so yeah, I would not have recommended doing that to your primary residence
right.
because if you don't have somewhere to lay your head at night, what good's profit at this point?
Oh, brother, I got a
Especially-
26-footer that I can pull all over the country.
But especially at the interest rate that you have.
Yeah.
That's
Well, that was ultimately what we
that's the
did.
key factor.
Ultimately, we were like, we're on 3% right now. We are not going to get anything nearly this good.
I think mine is you actually got it at a better time. Mine is at like 3.6, but ours is older.
Well,
Like,
yours
there was
is
a time
also-
when it dipped, and you caught it on the dip.
Well, I caught on dip, but mine was also an FHA, so I did have PMI, which is a
No,
bummer.
we had a conventional.
I was going to say you had a conventional, so PMI is a bummer. But either way, so with that trend, what do you see happening? Because I know the big fear right now, and it's reality right now. I have family who they are young, they're newly married, looking for a home. What do you see the trend in the future being like? Are people that are younger ever going to be able
afford?
minus hitting the lottery or they become a guru in the stock market, are they ever going to be able to actually own a home? Because I saw a statistic the other day, at least in the metro areas in your bigger cities, right now it is statistically cheaper to rent for younger folks than it is to
I don't
buy
see
a home.
how
I
because I'm
disagree.
seeing high rentals
I
prices
disagree.
too.
So I disagree on the rental aspect of it as far as that it's cheaper because
And maybe that's year over year, I guess,
and
not in the long run.
and that's possible.
Yeah, for the
but
year you may have spent less, but
a lot of it depends upon what you're looking at as at a home. So, for instance, from what I am seeing, most rentals people are paying almost $1.50 a square foot.
Well, yeah, it's $1,500 to $2,500 in rent.
Yeah, and so once again, I believe it depends upon what you're looking for,
right.
because it's going to depend upon one, how big of a house do you need? Bigger house, bigger payment.
Right, bigger payment.
I think you got to blur the. I think a lot of people blur the lines between need and want, though.
They do, and
That's the
that's
truth.
a huge, and that's always been the case. I mean,
Oh yeah, true.
everybody buys more house than they need. Probably,
Absolutely. So statistics shows that most people own 4 homes in their lifetime.
Dang.
They own a starter home.
Yeah.
Yep.
They have the first kid. They need something bigger.
Yep.
The family grows even more, so they have to get even something bigger.
Right.
Kids move out, they downsize.
Yeah, that's true.
And so
sense.
you're looking at most people own 4 homes. So to answer your question, do I believe that people our age or even younger will ever be able to afford a home? I believe yes, because I believe at some point in time, whether it be Greeneville, whether it be Johnson City, whatever, people are going to start paying more.
Yeah.
And I don't mean paying more for houses.
Yeah,
I
you're
mean
talking
living
about
wages.
wages.
Yeah.
Now I'm not
Industries are gonna
I'm
have
not
to
an
pay
I'm
more.
not an advocate of we need to pay $50 an hour for minimum wage. I don't believe in
Listen,
that.
if there's $50 an hour that ever comes across a McDonald's assembly line, I'll flip them puppies so fast.
So, but I mean, but that's the thing. And so no, I don't.
JK,
I
by the way.
don't.
Right
do
now, there's a
believe-
pretty good imbalance, though.
Yeah, there is.
There is.
At current salaries and wages,
It's tough.
Tri Cities, like we'll go east of Knoxville,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
all of it.
Our
it's,
area.
It's not.
It's tough.
It's not.
Yeah.
It does not afford current
Go west of
market
Knoxville.
prices.
Go to west of Knoxville.
Is it worse?
Oh gosh.
I was gonna
Really?
say, well, yeah, you
Lord.
have that big space in between like Nashville and Memphis. Like wages there fairly low,
Yeah, I mean, but so
and
What's
then home
west of
values.
Knoxville though, other than Turkey Creek?
I mean, I'm talking about keep going west.
Yeah, like
Like
Nashville, Cookville,
Crossville, Cookville, Nashville. Oh
Have
my
you seen
goodness.
home prices in Cookville?
Have you seen home prices in Nashville?
Oh yeah,
Who would want to
Nashville.
live in Cookville? No, I'm not.
So
Oh, I'm just saying.
So, story time. Me and Tori gets back from our honeymoon.
Yeah.
Of course, that's been 3 years ago now.
Yeah, in the Bahamas.
No, that was in Hawaii.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So we get back from our honeymoon, and the individual that came and picked us up, she's a realtor in Nashville. Me and Dad are big buddies with her and her wife.
Right.
That's who we stay with when we go to Nashville. And so she picks us up, and we go riding around, and she's showing me all these properties that just sold in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
There's a half-acre lot.
Nice.
Half-acre lot.
That's a field.
In Belle Meade, which is upper criteria of Nashville.
Yeah.
Probably 45-degree angle, straight up. I mean,
Yeah.
up.
Just prime building location, really.
It's awful. Covered in shrubs, covered in trees, all of these things. Guess how much it sold for?
I'm gonna say 2.2,
Oh, that's a little high.
1.1.
$850,000, half-acre lot. They are buying in Nashville right now. They are buying homes for $1 and $2 million just to tear them down to build what they want.
Nice.
Well, because they're needing the real estate. They're
Yeah.
needing the location is what
They are
bought.
paying millions of dollars just for land to spend millions of dollars to tear down and build. And so,
Go Nashville.
I mean, going back to the question,
Mm-hmm.
there are a lot of available loans
Mm-hmm.
out there that help younger couples buy homes.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, you still got FHA and all those
USDA,
things. Yeah,
which,
USDA.
which USDA is 100% no money down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
And-
on ours we had to have 10% down, something like that.
FHA is 3.5.
Or yeah, my bad, 3.5, not 10. Jeez.
Conventional, so you
Yeah.
had no PMI, so you paid 20 down.
Yeah.
I can give you phone numbers right now where they do conventional loans where some of them only require 3% down.
Yeah.
Now you still have to pay PMI.
Right.
Obviously, the only people
Right.
that don't have to pay PMI is VA,
Yeah.
Okay.
but they deserve that.
Yeah, all day.
Yeah, they can do whatever they want.
Hey, random real estate question or random mortgage question. So we are now coming up on 5 years of our loan. Does PMI automatically roll off, or do I need to do that manually?
It should automatically.
Once you get your 20%.
Once you get 20%, it
Knocked
should have
off.
rolled off.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
So once you have 20%, they should no longer be.
Okay, I need to check that then.
Yeah. I mean, once you pay that, and I mean, so you may know this, they may not know this. If at all possible, you want your PMI to get away quickly,
Pay
make
extra.
extra
pay
payments.
an extra.
Yeah.
You can pay one extra payment a year, and it knocks 7 years off of your loan.
Well, that's even with conventional.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
that's what
takes
they-
your
yeah, that's
30
what they
to
were
even.
thinking.
That's
Well,
if
I've heard
anything.
people too. I think my cousin did this on his first home. He would make his mortgage payment bi-weekly.
Yeah, every 2 weeks.
Yeah,
You end
every
up
2
with
weeks.
an extra
Yeah,
payment.
an
a
extra
year.
So-
payment, yeah.
So, and with that being said, though, a lot of people don't know this either.
Mm-hmm.
When you do that, you better, let me rephrase that, you better make sure that the check
going to
that you
principal.
send has principal on it.
Ah,
Because
Otherwise,
if
it doesn't get applied
because
to
it does
principal.
not get applied.
Interesting.
You
Well,
so you
not the full amount.
yeah, no, you're still
Interesting.
paying on the interest part, of
Right.
it. And so I know a lot of people that they did not know that, and they were paying an extra payment a year,
to interest.
and they were just paying it to interest.
Oh man.
So it did nothing to their loan.
Yeah,
Man.
Yeah. So for the people who may have just heard like, why would I pay twice a month? Well, we're not saying you make your say your mortgage is $1,000 a month, which if you've got $1,000 mortgage payment, I don't know when you financed,
I was
but
gonna say, God
great
bless
for
you.
you.
Yeah. Go
like
you.
let's just say for easy math, that's what it was. No, we're not saying you pay $1,000 for this 2 weeks and then you turn around and pay it. That's like
You're
way
paying
overkill.
$1,000
I'm saying
one
you
time
pay
extra.
$500.
Or yeah, 500.
These 2 weeks and then the next 2 weeks because at the end of the month you still paid your 1,000. But the way that works out with our Gregorian calendar, you end up with an extra payment.
Right.
At the end of the 12 months, you end up making 13 payments as opposed to 12. So if you've got that applied to principal, yeah, you'll end up knocking. I think statistically, it's roughly 7 years off your
it's something
30
no, 30
roughly
no.
7 or
Yeah.
something like that. And that's the thing. I mean, and
That ain't bad.
with your question about people our age younger and everything like that, can I tell you why I'm seeing more are not able to buy? It's not because they're not able to afford.
Probably lifestyle, isn't it?
It's lifestyle. It's one they can't get approved.
Right.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard preachers say all my life, and I've said it before behind the pulpit. We try to impress people that we don't know when we buy stuff that we don't need.
Yeah.
True.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah, you were making the income to make to overcome those mistakes.
Yeah,
though.
but what good is it now?
But still, yeah. I mean,
Well, it's not. But I'm saying like,
It's all for naught.
But it's different when you've got people who can't afford to
Yeah,
do that,
right.
and they still try to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, it blows my mind when I drive by places, and I'm not judging. I mean, do you?
Yeah.
Do you? But I would rather have. Personally, I'd rather have a nicer house and a lower end car than have to rent, but have a Porsche in the driveway.
You can sleep in a Porsche, but it's not comfortable.
yeah, who wants to do that?
I mean, or whatever it is. So, I mean, like I said, to each its own, whatever your priorities are.
Right.
But I'm going to spend more time in my house than I am in my car. Well,
Now,
not me.
I will
but
say this.
one of those statistically appreciates in value too.
yes.
Well, right now, if you look at the Porsche market,
Okay, at some point that's not going to be the case.
they've certainly appreciated. The
You can look
air-cooleds.
back in the sands of time.
Well,
real
yeah.
estate has almost always.
Oh yeah, it's always appreciated.
Well,
With the
I mean,
exception
we
of
say
maybe
it
the crash.
we say it appreciates, but most of the time, I mean, even a Porsche, when you drive it off the lot, it lost value. I mean,
Well, and I'm talking about old Porsches.
Oh,
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. You're
If
talking
you
about
look
the
at
classics.
if you look at the air cooled market right now, to
Oh.
get a 996, which is Porsche 911 Turbo, that was the last model of the air cooleds. They're going for like an average of 150 to 250K.
But the thing is now,
But it's because they're the last air cooled
Yeah.
Porsche ever made.
but the thing is now, it's hard for me to believe that you're going to find any new vehicles that are going to appreciate
New vehicles, no.
like
Oh
a
my
1965 Mustang.
Yeah, you won't.
It
New
just ain't
vehicles,
gonna
no.
happen.
They don't appreciate.
And so it's one thing if you go buy a new
classic
60,
or a-
classic.
Yeah,
a
classics
collectible
they
of
appreciate.
sorts.
But a house will pretty much always, you can about bank on it always
Right.
appreciating unless you
Agreed.
see a depression
Agreed.
enter.
Agreed.
Which I don't know. I've always kind of likened the whole real estate thing to Whose Line.
The rules are made up. Points don't matter.
Yeah, because it's like literally the best, most recent example I can give is when those first few homes sold for 75 over asking. Literally, what happened? Somebody moved a number. Is
Yeah.
what happened. Somebody
And everybody went stupid.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which
That's
is
what
like,
happened.
okay, this was worth 275 yesterday.
Now it's worth 475.
But today it's worth 355 and that's what it's going to sell
And the
for.
boards didn't change a bit.
Same house,
Yep.
same location. It's
The
like
roof
all
is
these
still
things, it's
leaking.
like, okay, so it's
Supply
like
and
I-
demand.
so speaking of supply and demand, we can probably finish with this. I know at one point inventory was a big issue. Is it still as big of an issue?
Oh, yeah. It's worse.
Really?
Got way more buyers than homes.
Oh,
huh?
absolutely.
So are
It's-
people just reluctant to actually list now because the way that the market's looking, or what is it?
Yeah, I mean that's what a lot.
have
That's
some
what a
seller
lot of it is.
reluctancy.
Yeah, you got some sellers that they don't need to sell,
Right.
And
And they're realizing they missed the boat.
they miss their boat.
Yeah.
But also to your point, where are they going to go?
Yeah,
that's
true.
the
I
big
mean,
question.
you're going to unless you're going to build, and building's almost $300 a square foot now. So, I mean,
I could still see inventory being an issue. I think inventory is probably an issue for several reasons, like you just mentioned. I think the biggest thing though is okay, you missed it,
Yeah.
but also people have like had a little bit of time to think and
To
be
stop
like,
being stupid.
I've got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
I've got this equity.
Yeah, I can put
that would be
$100K in the bank,
great,
but it's just going to sit there.
but
Yeah.
I can't go get anything.
I mean, the
can't-
only thing that makes it, I don't want to say, the only thing that would make you want to sell in this market right now is, okay, I'm going to sell my house. I have a large house.
if you're downsizing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're going to buy something that's cheaper, so you're going to
Yeah,
have
you're gonna pay
money.
less. You're gonna have money left over.
And so I understand it. And that's what I'm saying. Most of my sellers are downsizing or they're having to upsize.
Yeah.
But nobody's just selling to sell.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
It just-
well, that
it
happened
doesn't
early
make
on.
sense.
yeah, people were just selling to sell.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense, though. It doesn't make sense at all.
No, or they're having to relocate because of jobs or whatever, and they're kind of forced to.
So you're saying the light at the end of the real estate tunnel is not necessarily going to be spearheaded by the market coming down? You think prices are going to remain pretty consistent?
I think it's going to be dictated by rates.
I was going to say,
I don't think the prices will dip.
right?
No, this
can't.
is not a bubble.
Right.
Everybody says, "Well, I'm gonna wait till the bubble bursts." This is not a bubble. This is life.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of bubbles, did y'all ever watch that movie? It's got a lot of language in it, but it was about the burst.
I know the
Christian
movie.
Bale. It's called Big Short. It's The Big Short.
I've not watched it, but I've heard a lot of
remember
people
that
talk about it.
It's a good movie because it's a historical look at how this housing burst came to be.
Is it like a good foreshadowing?
Well, I don't know how all
It
of
has
it's
to
working
do
out.
more with like 08 and everything, doesn't it?
It was the 08 crash. Yeah, it
Yes.
was the 08 crash.
okay.
Yeah.
This guy, the guy that Christian Bale plays, is super whiz mathematically. He saw a trend, and he saw that there were people, tons of banks, loaning far in excess of value.
Yeah.
And he figured out,
So he was a savant.
he was a savant, and so he started betting on these shorts. He started placing money on these shorts because when the bank finally needed to call in the note, they didn't have it and all these things. Like, it's actually pretty good. It's a pretty good watch.
I need to watch
I've
It's-
heard that it's good.
Now, like I said, there's a lot of language in it, but like it is really like it's really cool to watch.
watch that.
It's really good.
So it's not going to be prices. It's probably going to be rates, possible increase in wages from industries,
that could help.
Possibly.
and people like taking a good solid look at their lifestyle and saying, "Am I supporting a sustainable lifestyle right now?"
And a lot of it is, and you've heard this statement, and I want to clarify this statement. You marry the home, you date the rate.
Yeah.
We've heard that statement before.
Right.
So let me be very clear on that.
Yes, give us clarity.
Because that is a lot of realtors use that phrase, but we need to be clear on what that means. So marry the house, you find the house that you want, you buy the house at that interest rate, you can always refinance.
Right.
Not always the case.
Very correct.
Because when
now you don't want to.
Yeah, right now you don't want to.
Well, not only that, but let's say interest rate does drop to 4% again. I don't foresee that happening.
Right.
But let's say that it does. So to refinance, you have to go through the exact same process that you did
Yup.
to buy
Closing
the
costs,
house.
all those things.
Yup.
What happens if somebody gets sick?
Yeah.
Somebody has to quit their job because they get sick. What happens if something happens and you're having to bring grandma in and they're going to live there and you're having to use your expenses to take care of
I was
her?
going to say your income has dropped.
Things change.
Yep.
You know, anything unforeseen could happen.
Your income dropped. Your credit score could have dropped. Like there's all kinds of factors that go into a refi.
And I'm not an advocate of using that terminology just because of that.
Yeah.
I want to explain to you.
Because life happens.
I want to be upfront and honest with all of my clients.
Yeah.
I don't like deception. I don't want when it's all said and done, I don't want you to say, well, you know, you said this or no.
Right.
When I come into a listing, this drives me berserk. It absolutely drives me berserk. And because, I mean, I see it happen all the time. When I go into a listing appointment, I'll look at the house, I'll go through it. In my mind, I'll already have what I think the house is worth, but I don't know because I haven't seen it. I don't know if it's remodeled. I don't know these things. But based on comps of square footage wise, land wise, bedroom, bathroom wise, I can kind of get close to an idea.
Right.
And then base that off of what I see when I get there. And so by the time that I leave there, most of the time, if I have my iPad and everything with me in service, I can show them the comps and be like, this is what roughly what your house is worth.
Right.
So I am a fair proponent of, I want to list your house to where it's going to sell, not where it's going to sit.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I go into listing appointments all the time, and most people will bring in a couple of realtors to interview whatever.
Yeah.
List over.
Yeah. And so I'm going to tell you what the market says your house is going to sell for.
Right.
And I always tell people it could sell for a little more. It could sell for a little less.
Yeah.
Right.
But this is where I would list your house.
Yeah.
Well, so-and-so told me that I could list my house for $50,000 more than that. Well, I'm not in the business of just putting signs in your yard.
You sure can.
I can list your house for
list
$1
it for
million.
whatever.
Absolutely. Ain't no rule says you can't.
You can list it for whatever.
But it does no good for my sign just to be sitting in your yard.
Right.
And then eventually, which is what we're seeing on Zillow, Realtor, and all this, is eventually we're going to have to drop your house to the price that I stated that it was, and then it's going to sell.
Right.
And so
So you could have sold their house, 60 to 90 days sooner had they been realistic.
absolutely.
That's fair.
And I don't like that deception.
Right.
Now, have I lost a lot of listings because of that? Absolutely.
Well, yeah,
But
who doesn't want to think that I'm going to be 50K to the greater?
Right.
I could show you right now, and I'm not going to say anything like that, but I could show you houses right now that I went and looked at, and I told them what it would sell for. And somebody else came in and offered and promised them the moon, and then it finally sold, and they didn't get the moon.
Yeah.
And that's all I'll say about that. But I mean, but that's the case.
Oh, yeah, that happens. That happens every day.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and but I am a time conscious person. It doesn't look good on me to have to drop your house 5 times.
Yeah, I
and
was
it
going to say
doesn't
3 or
look-
5 times.
Yeah, and it doesn't
3
look good on
reductions.
me for your house to sit on the market for 90 days when everybody else's house is selling within 3
selling
weeks.
like hotcakes.
When you hear that there's an inventory problem, if you've got something sitting right now,
There is a problem.
yeah.
yeah,
So when it comes to that, for all you listing people out there fixing to sell your house,
All of our audience who may be in the market to sell.
right.
this is what you need to know. If your house is selling for sitting for X amount of days, there's 3 things wrong. There's 3 things that are wrong. One, it is not marketed correctly.
Right.
That is a big
That's
thing.
fair. Sure.
2, when I talk about the marketing correctly, meaning that the photography is not that good.
Yeah.
Right.
Photography is one of the most important things.
Sure.
I pay
Yeah.
extra to have great photography done.
Yeah.
So it's cool you mentioned that because a while back here on the podcast, we had a real estate photographer, Tyler Frazier. Tyler does great work here in the area, but it's cool to hear an agent to say that this is something that's important.
I am not a professional photographer.
Right.
I pay out of my own pocket.
Yeah. Well, you don't
to
get
have
paid to be a professional
No.
photographer. You get paid to sell a house.
Now, I know realtors right now that they are very good, skilled photographers.
Yeah, if you've got the skills,
and they do
absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
Praise God.
Yeah. If you got the
More
skills,
power
great.
to you. I don't have those skills.
Yeah.
I don't do that.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
But if you're going out there taking it on your, 2011 Android.
it just don't work. And I see people doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I see some MLS listings and I'm like, oof.
Yes. And this is what I tell my
You're not making this house
This is
look
what I
good.
tell my sellers. If I don't like the pictures on MLS, I ain't even gonna waste my time and come and look at your house.
Right.
No. Now, on the inverse, I have seen back when we did tour houses, what I would call deceptive.
Yeah, there's been some
photos.
false
It's like,
advertisements.
wait a second.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hold the phone. This is not an
there's
accurate
some false
representation
advertisement
of
there.
this house.
Yes.
Um,
And my goal when selling your home is I'm trying to get as much foot traffic in that house as
Yep.
possible.
Yep.
Hands down. I tell people this, I tell my listing people this, or people that I'm listing their homes for. I spend probably an excess of $1,000, maybe more dollars a listing.
Yeah.
Because
To get it marketed properly.
properly, to get professional photography, professional walkthroughs, professional everything done, because I want to get your house sold as soon as possible
Yeah.
for you and for me.
Yeah. That looks good on both.
So I mean, if your house hasn't sold, it's got more than likely there's either poor marketing, more than likely it may be a picture thing, it may be something like that,
Yeah.
or the main one is it's overpriced.
Yeah. Well, it's funny too because a lot of those factors are factors that I would dare say the majority of people, unless they talk to you or even talk to people like us, they don't understand how important those little things are. Like, okay, so price is the big issue,
Yes,
but
sure.
those little things certainly add up. And like, with us being in the media business, I can tell you this, like when my house is a wreck, when we've had a couple of weeks go by where we're in and out, there's dishes piled up, there's toys all on the floor, clothes everywhere.
Right.
I look at it, I'm like, this is a decrepit place. But as soon as you clean it up, and this is where I'll make the point for staging,
Right.
the staging of a home is so important
Yeah.
when it comes to listing.
And see, that's funny because I'm not a big stager.
Really?
I don't like staging.
Well,
I'm
and I
not
mean
saying
stage as in
staging.
like,
I'm just saying pick up. Like,
Yeah.
Oh
pick
yeah,
up,
yeah.
like
yeah.
organization.
You're talking about
Yeah.
if somebody's already is still living there.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Organization.
Yeah, declutter.
Organization. Yeah.
I tell people that if you
No,
have-
I'm not saying bring in an Ashley furniture
I'm
couch.
Not, I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like that kind of staging. But
just
now,
cleanliness.
cleanliness.
Yeah.
When I go to a listing appointment, okay, what do I need to get my house ready?
just
If you have
organize
not
it.
touched it in 30 days, put it in a box, put it under the bed.
Yep.
That's what I tell all of them.
Yep.
That's fair.
If you have not touched it in 30 days, put it in a box, put it under the bed.
That's good advice just for life in general.
All of your family pictures, take them down.
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah, you don't want to show identities.
Yeah, I don't want to show identities.
Yep.
You want to make it as unpersonable
Sure.
as possible.
Well, because you want people to see themselves in it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like empty houses staging.
Yeah.
Because 90% of buyers cannot remove your stuff from the house and put their stuff in it.
See, that's crazy. I would have thought the inverse would have taken place because I know how people are with, like, say, new construction and stuff. They can't walk into like a framed house and see it.
See,
Because they don't, they can't visually
Yeah.
like put the sheetrock in there. They can't visually
The
see that light
fireplace.
fixture.
Yeah.
They can't do that without it being present. So I would have been of the camp. No, you need to have some staging in there so that people can get a loose visualization of what their stuff might look like. Here.
So the reason that I believe or that I don't recommend stage now, if somebody says, well, I want to stage my house, well, that's fine. We'll stage it. But
Yeah.
I don't recommend it.
Okay.
But the reason I say that is, okay, you know what stuff you already have.
Yeah.
Right.
You know your couch, you know your bed, you know all of that.
Yeah.
So it's not as hard when you already have it and you've lived with it to walk in and put it in an empty room where you would put
True.
it. Now, drywall and stuff like that, well, these are different walls. They're different, quote unquote, shape, different angles, different sized room. So that's a little different.
Yeah.
Because you're having to add in color, you're having to add
Right.
in all of that.
Yeah.
But you already know what color your couch is. You already know what size your couch is.
That's fair.
That's true. I see that.
And so,
Well,
that's just
so
me.
it's interesting because we've got a buddy who right now is working on selling a cabin, and current agreement is, it doesn't come furnished.
Right.
Like the furniture's leaving with the
Right.
sale, right?
Right.
It doesn't stay. Well, the people like the furniture there.
Yeah. So they've
And so
offered
they're trying
purchase
to
it.
negotiate, purchasing
Yeah.
the furniture. So like in that case, I would say like, okay, that was a good thing to have left the furniture in there.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Well, I mean, a lot of that depends upon, okay, the type of house.
I was gonna say that.
What you're doing with the house. So like Airbnbs, absolutely, 99.9% of all Airbnbs come completely furnished.
What I was going to say, I would
yeah,
consider
I would
his
say
cabin like of the Airbnb aesthetic because
Yeah,
all of the furniture in there
Yeah.
was curated for that place.
Yeah, that's different.
Okay.
It was
gotcha.
curated for that place.
But like, I mean, most people when you like, let's say you sold your house, you like your bed.
Yeah.
I don't want to get rid of my bed.
Yeah.
I ain't getting. I mean, now I want to get rid of my bed. I don't like my bed. I don't like my mattress. I want a new mattress. But
Yeah.
most people they like their bed. They like
Sure.
they like their couch. They like all these
fair.
things.
That's
so you're not getting it. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's fair.
because I don't want to have to go out and buy a new one.
in hindsight, I should have bought the hot tub that was at our house. We've got a hot tub hookup, and I didn't purchase it with
I
the
would love
house.
to have a hot tub.
Oh, yeah. What were you thinking?
I don't know.
What
know.
were you thinking?
They're on my back deck. You
Yeah.
know the big GI. That's a hot tub. Yeah.
No, it ain't actually.
Well, it's not now, but
I can tell you what ain't there.
yeah. I mean, because now
That
all your
burnt
prices
hot
of hot tubs. I'm
And
like, daggone.
So
I could have had that super Jeep.
So, side note to that, and if you have a competent realtor, they should know this. But for all buyers out there, if you are wanting to do that, do not put it in the offer
Yeah.
because your loan will not go through.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting.
Because mortgage company ain't paying for your hot
Yeah.
tub.
They don't give a poop about your hot tub.
They ain't
No.
paying for your couch.
Listen,
Your lawnmower, your tractor.
I'll tell you this: it didn't go into the paperwork, but I got to acquire. I can tell you at my current location, this deep freezer did not make the journey away. It
Yeah.
stayed.
I should have done the same with the hot tub.
Once
Daggone.
again,
I paid.
Purchase all you want, just don't put it in the offer.
Yeah, I paid the former owner.
Yeah.
For that in cash.
I dropped the ball, boys.
Yeah, you did.
I missed the bed.
My wife.
If you like a hot tub, which I'm a hot,
I love hot tubs.
Love a hot tub.
I love 'em.
When we go on vacation, especially like if me and the wife will take weekend trips to Pigeon Forge or
Yeah,
anything, just to
we
get
do
away.
cabins with our family.
Cabins
Yeah.
and everything like that. My wife will not let me get a cabin if it does not have a hot tub.
Good, I like it.
And I'm in agreement.
The most recent cabin that we've been staying at with my in-laws whenever we go, we normally take about 2 or 3 trips a year. They now have the one that we've started going to. It has a hot tub that's also a lap pool.
Really?
So it's
One of those
massive.
endless ones?
Yeah, it's an endless pool, but it's also a hot tub.
That's
So it'll
sweet.
fit like 47 people in there.
Yeah.
That's
It's
awesome.
pretty cool.
Listen,
That's awesome.
Pretty cool.
I'm a big proponent of the relaxation. in
Oh,
a
yeah.
hot tub.
Absolutely.
I love hot tubs.
I'll sit in there till I turn a prune.
I'll take a
Oh,
hot
yeah.
tub over a pool. Any
Oh, yeah,
day.
Every day of the
for
week.
sure.
Any
Every
day.
day of
For
the
sure.
week.
Any day.
Every day of the week. I'm in
Listen,
agreement.
I have been educated.
We've been schooled in a couple of different
Absolutely. Absolutely.
disciplines today. That's
Yes,
the
we
word I was looking
have.
for. A
That's,
couple different
I
disciplines.
like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Hopefully our viewers and listeners have gained some knowledge as well.
Yeah, I hope you guys got value if you're a wannabe amateur golfer,
Listen,
or if you're in the market to buy or sell or sit on your house.
if you've got aspirations of being a golfer, you better get that handicap down first off.
That's true.
Two,
game.
evidently, if you want to go to in person see the Masters, it's just a matter of getting drawn. So
and having $100 at your disposal whenever your name is called.
throw your name out there.
Yeah.
But on the real estate side, okay, so yeah, it's been interesting to hear that rates are probably going to have to be one of the deciding factors moving forward in regards to affordability, lifestyle changes, also wages. Doesn't sound like prices are going down.
Prices are staying pretty consistent.
They're staying consistent. If anything,
As things appreciate,
they'll go
as
up.
as rates go down, prices
will
go
go
up.
up, yeah.
Because supply and demand will change.
That's how it works.
yeah. So if you found any value in this episode, leave us a review.
Like this video.
Like the video, leave us a review, leave us a
Or
comment.
audio if you're audio only. Like this audio.
We read them all.
Yeah.
And hey,
Even the bad ones.
if you're in the market for anything real estate, buying, selling, reach out to Mr. Dillon.
Sure,
we'll have
Dylan's
Give me a call.
He'll
we'll have
be
his
a wealth of
contact in the.
information.
423-747-1292.
There we go.
Listen, I was going to put it in the
I was
description.
going to say link
but
in description below, but
it's gonna
it'll
be
be
in
in
there.
audio too.
You can
There
do
you
both.
go. Text him, call him, whatever. Yeah, Dylan, thanks.
Hey,
Thanks for coming
Thanks for
appreciate
being
you
on,
having me.
man.
Appreciate
Thanks for
you
being
having
on.
Again, I've learned
Very
a
cool.
bunch. Learned a bunch.
Jared, here's the hard part.
Well, let's see. I was trying to think of you put me on the spot, dang it. I was trying to think of a good golf buy reference, but we'll just see you later.
Okay. I was going to say, we'll just bogey on out of here.
Okay, that'll work.
How about that?
Bug out. See ya.